Welcome back to Top Liberty, the home of rare coins, hidden treasures, and American history written in copper. Today, we dive deep into one of the most talked about coins in the world of numismatics, the 1974 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary 1-cent coin, something you might find lying around in your old change jar, but behind this small copper coin lies a story filled with mystery, experiment, and big money value, up to $787.98 or even more depending on condition and rarity. Stay tuned till the end, because this journey will take you from the minting experiments of 1974 all the way to the modern collector's market. The birth of the Lincoln PNNY. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin featured Lincoln's portrait on the obverse side, a design that became iconic in American history. For decades, the penny was made from 95% copper, a tradition that continued through the mid-20th century, but by the early 1970s, copper prices were rising, and the U.S. Mint started to look for cheaper alternatives. The year 1974, a year of change. In 1974, something unusual happened. Because copper became expensive, the U.S. Mint began testing aluminum and bronze as possible replacements. Thousands of aluminum 1974 Lincoln cents were struck, but the Denver Mint, where the D Mint mark appears, officially did not issue any aluminum cents for circulation. That's where the story of the 1974 D penny begins, with mystery, experiment, and confusion. What makes the 1974 D penny special? Most 1974 D pennies are ordinary copper coins. However, some collectors believe that a few experimental aluminum coins were accidentally struck at the Denver Mint, marked D, and somehow escaped into circulation. This rumor created one of the biggest hunts in U.S. coin history. Even though most 1974 D pennies you find are regular copper, collectors began searching every single one, hoping to find a rare aluminum version worth tens of thousands of dollars. The Mint experiments and government recall. When the U.S. Mint realized the aluminum cents were not ideal, they decided to melt them down and stop the project, but according to historical records, a few coins were never returned. One example surfaced in 1974, owned by a retired Denver Mint employee, and it caused a national stir. The government immediately demanded the coin's return, considering it unauthorized property. This made the few surviving examples illegal to own and therefore extremely rare and valuable. The legend of the 1974 D aluminum cent. The coin that sparked attention, a 1974 D aluminum cent, became the holy grail of Lincoln pennies. It was lightweight, silvery in color, and unlike any regular cent. Collectors whispered about its existence for decades, but none were ever sold publicly because of legal restrictions. Even so, the legend of the 1974 D penny grew, turning it into one of the most desired and mysterious coins in American history. Different types of 1974 PNNs. There are two main compositions for the 1974 pennies: bronze, 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc aluminum. Only a few known to exist: the Denver and Philadelphia. No mint mark. Mints both produced millions of bronze cents, but only Denver experimented with aluminum under strict control. So if you hold a 1974 D penny, check the weight. The bronze version weighs 3.11 grams, while the aluminum one would be around 0.93 grams. How to check if your 1974 D penny is rare? If you think your 1974 D penny might be valuable, here's what you can do: weigh it. If it's lighter than 3 grams, you might have something special. Check for magnetic response. Aluminum pennies are not magnetic. Inspect under magnification. Look for die details and mint marks. Get it graded. Professional coin grading services like PCGS or NGC can confirm authenticity. A verified rare specimen could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Market value in 2025. Now let's talk numbers. In today's collector market, 2025, a mint state 1974 D bronze penny in pristine condition can fetch around $787.98, depending on the grade and luster. Coins in MS 65 or higher can reach higher auction values, especially if they show strong strike details and full Liberty clarity. Uncirculated examples with original red color are particularly sought after. How condition affects value? The condition of your coin matters more than anything. collectors use a scale called the Sheldon grading system to rank coins from poor, P1, to mint state, MS 70. A shiny, uncirculated 1974 D penny might bring hundreds of dollars, while a worn one could still sell for a few dollars to the right buyer. Remember, even small scratches or discoloration can reduce value, so always handle your coins carefully. Auction stories and record sales. Over the years, several 1974 pennies have caused excitement at auctions. While no legal 1974 D aluminum cent has ever been publicly sold, regular 1974 D copper cents in top condition have reached impressive prices. In one case, a graded MS 67 red example sold for several $100s. Collectors constantly compete for the best preserved coins, driving prices higher year after year. Why collectors love the 1974 D PNN? Why the 1974 D penny is not just a piece of metal. It's a symbol of American innovation, change, and mystery. It represents a time when the U.S. Mint experimented with materials and ideas, balancing history and economy. For collectors, owning a 1974 D penny is like holding a tiny piece of U.S. history, a reminder that even the smallest things can carry the biggest stories. How to store and protect your PNNY. If you have a 1974 D penny, store it properly. Use acid-free coin flips, plastic capsules, or airtight holders. Avoid touching the surface directly with your fingers. Even moisture and air can affect color and shine over time. Proper storage ensures your coin maintains its collector value and historical beauty. Tips for coin hunters. If you're just starting out in coin collecting, here are a few tips. Always check your change. Valuable coins often hide in plain sight. Use a digital scale and magnifying glass for close inspection. Follow coin forums and communities for updates. Keep learning. Every coin has a story. Who knows, the next rare 1974 D penny worth hundreds of dollars might be sitting right in your pocket. Conclusion and channel MESSAG. The 1974 D Lincoln penny, a simple 1-cent coin with a legendary past. From copper to aluminum, from experiment to collector's dream, it remains one of the most fascinating coins in U.S. history. Whether it's worth a few dollars or nearly $787.98, the true value lies in the story it tells. Thank you for watching Top Liberty, your trusted channel for rare coins, hidden treasures, and valuable collecting tips. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss our next big discovery, because here on Top Liberty, every coin has a story, and every story could be worth a fortune. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and talked about coins in U.S. coin history, the 1982 Lincoln penny. Many people don't realize that this little copper-colored cent could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on its metal composition, mint mark, and condition. So stay tuned till the very end, because in this full video, we'll reveal how a small 1982 penny can be worth up to $787.98 or even more in today's collector market. The birth of the Lincoln penny. The story of the Lincoln penny begins back in 1909, when the United States Mint introduced the coin to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and it quickly became a national symbol of honor and liberty. From 1909 until today, the Lincoln penny has gone through several design and composition changes, but one year, in particular, stands out among them all: 1982. Why 1982 was a turning point? The year 1982 was monumental for the U.S. Mint. That was the year the Mint decided to change the composition of the penny, from 95% copper to a copper-plated zinc coin. This change happened because the price of copper had risen so high that it actually cost more than 1 cent to make a 1-cent coin. But during this transition, something very interesting happened. Two different types of 1982 pennies were struck, one with copper and one with zinc. The two metals, copper versus zinc. Collectors know that not all 1982 pennies are created equal. The copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams, while the zinc ones weigh 2.5 grams. That's why weighing your penny can reveal which version you have. The copper versions are far more desirable to collectors, especially the ones in uncirculated or proof condition, and believe it or not, one special variety of the 1982 penny sold for nearly $18,000 at auction. The 7 varieties of the 1982 Lincoln penny. Now, here's where things get even more fascinating. In 1982, the U.S. Mint produced 7 different varieties of the Lincoln penny, They include 1982 large date copper, 1982 small date copper, 1982 large date zinc, 1982 small date zinc, 1982 D large date copper, 1982 D large date zinc, 1982 D small date zinc, and there's one more, an eighth variety, the 1982 D small date copper penny, which shouldn't exist, yet a few have been found. The rare 1982 D small date copper penny. This is where the real treasure lies. The 1982 D small date copper penny is an extremely rare transitional error. It was struck with copper planchets by mistake during the time the mint was switching to zinc. Only a handful of these coins are known to exist, and one of them sold for over $18,000. If you find one, it could easily be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on its condition and grading. How to identify your 1982 penny? Here's how you can identify what type of 1982 penny you have. First, look under the date for a D mint mark. That means it was made in Denver. No mint mark means Philadelphia. Next, check the size of the date, large or small, by comparing the shape of the 2 and the 8, and finally, weigh the coin. If it's around 3.11 grams, it's copper. If it's around 2.5 grams, it's zinc. Simple tools like a digital scale can help you find a treasure hiding in your change. How to grade your 1982 penny coin. Grading is key to determining value. A 1982 penny in circulated condition may only be worth a few cents, but if your penny is in mint state condition, meaning it has sharp details, bright luster, and no scratches, the value can jump dramatically, from a few dollars to hundreds. Collectors and dealers often use NGC or PCGS for professional grading, which can confirm authenticity and boost its market price. Coin values in today's market. In the current coin market, a regular 1982 copper penny can sell for $1 to $3 if it's in excellent shape. Uncirculated examples can reach $10 to $30. But those rare transitional errors or high-grade versions can reach $787.98, and in some auction cases, even over $1,000. The market value continues to grow as collectors search for the rare varieties. The story behind the change from copper to zinc wasn't just about cost, it reflected the economic challenges of the early 1980s. Inflation and rising metal prices forced the U.S. Mint to take drastic measures. By switching to zinc, they saved millions of dollars in production costs, but this also created one of the most collectible coin series in modern history. Where to find rare 1982 pennies? You don't need to be rich to find a valuable penny. Search your old coin jars, pocket change, and bank rolls, because many of these coins are still circulating. Visit local coin shops, estate sales, or flea markets. Sometimes, hidden treasures are right in front of you, just waiting to be discovered by a sharp-eyed collector. Tips for coin collectors. If you want to get serious about coin collecting, always handle coins by the edges, store them in protective holders, avoid cleaning them, it reduces their value. Keep a coin scale and magnifying glass handy, and most importantly, research before you sell or buy. Mistakes that could cost you money. One big mistake collectors make is cleaning coins with chemicals or polishing them. Another is not checking for small date versus large date, and some people sell too early without getting their coins graded. Patience and knowledge can turn a few cents into hundreds of dollars. Real auction records. In recent years, coin auctions have seen 1982 pennies selling for incredible prices. 1982 D small date copper penny sold $4.18,800. Another high-grade 1982 penny went for $787.98, simply because it was preserved perfectly. These examples prove that the value of the 1982 penny continues to climb as collectors compete to own these historic coins. Final thoughts and call to action. The 1982 Lincoln penny isn't just a small piece of metal, it's a symbol of history, economics, and American heritage. Each penny carries a story, a transition from copper to zinc, from old to new. So go check your change, look through your coin jar, and maybe, just maybe, you'll find a top Liberty treasure worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Top Liberty for more coin videos, historical insights, and real market updates on rare and valuable coins. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most talked about coins in numismatic history, the 1983 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it's just a simple 1-cent coin, right? But what if I told you that this little copper-colored coin could be worth hundreds of dollars? even up to $787.97 or more. Stay tuned till the end, because this episode will take you on a journey through its history, production secrets, minting errors, and current market values that might shock you. The birth of the 1983 Lincoln CNT. The Lincoln Cent has been part of American life since 1909, celebrating the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, but in 1982, something major happened. The U.S. Mint changed the composition of the penny from 95% copper to 97.5% zinc with a thin copper coating. By 1983, all pennies were supposed to be made of zinc. However, a few 1983 pennies were accidentally struck using old copper planchets, creating one of the most valuable modern errors in U.S. history. Why 1983 ISO SPCAL? This year marked a full transition, but mistakes were made. The Mint accidentally used leftover copper blanks from 1982, resulting in the 1983 copper penny error. Since copper is much heavier than zinc, these coins weigh about 3.11 grams, instead of the normal 2.5 grams for zinc cents. Collectors worldwide are hunting these coins, and if you find one, you could be holding a small fortune in your hand. How to identify a 1983 copper PNNY? To check if your 1983 penny is the valuable kind, here's what to do. Place it on a digital scale. If it weighs 3.11 grams, you may have a rare copper planchet error coin. If it weighs 2.5 grams, it's the common zinc version. But wait. Some 1983 pennies have double die errors or other mistakes that also increase value. The famous 1983 double die PNNY. One of the most exciting varieties is the 1983 double die reverse Lincoln Cent. This coin shows strong doubling on the letters 1 cent and E pluribus unum on the back side. Collectors have paid over $700 for clean examples, and even lightly circulated ones sell for hundreds. So if you see letters that look shadowed or doubled, hold on to that coin. Mint locations and their impact. 1983 pennies were struck at 3 main locations: Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco. The 1983 D and 1983 S proof coins can also carry high value, especially if they show copper composition or unique doubling errors. Always check mint marks, they can make a massive difference in value. The copper planchet MYSTRY. So how did these copper planchets sneak into 1983 production? It's believed that leftover 1982 copper blanks were mistakenly mixed with the new zinc blanks when machines were reset for the year. Only a tiny handful escaped into circulation, and they've become legendary finds for collectors. Each one tells a story of minting transition and human error. How rare are these coins? Extremely rare. Experts estimate that fewer than 15 to 25 genuine 1983 copper cents exist. Most are found by accident, people checking their old jars or rolls of pennies. This is why every collector dreams of discovering one. The odds are tiny, but the rewards are huge. Current market value. Now let's talk money. Recent sales have seen genuine 1983 copper pennies sell for between $15,000 and $23,000 depending on condition. But common 1983 errors, like the double die reverse, are also valuable, ranging from $125 to $800 plus, depending on grade. Even uncirculated or proof 1983 coins without errors can be worth more than face value if perfectly preserved. The $787.97 pennies, you heard that right, $787.97. That's the real sale price. One of these coins achieved online in a private auction. Collectors were blown away when a beautifully toned 1983 double die reverse penny fetched nearly $800. So if you think your coins are ordinary, think again. Your loose change might hold history worth real money. Testing and verifying AUTCNTCATY. Never assume every 1983 penny is special. Fake coins and altered dates exist. To verify authenticity. Weigh your coin precisely. Inspect lettering and design details under magnification. Seek professional grading from PCGS or NGC. Certification can multiply your coin's value instantly. Collectors and SIGHT collectors love the 1983 penny because it tells a story of transition, technology, and error. It represents the shift from the copper era to modern zinc. Many consider it a symbol of how even small mistakes can make a big difference in history. And in your wallet. How to store and protect your PNNS. If you suspect your coin is valuable, never clean it. Use soft gloves, handle it gently, and store it in acid-free holders or coin flips. Keep away from humidity and air exposure. Tiny scratch can reduce value dramatically, so treat every coin like treasure. Future value and collector trends experts believe values will rise as more collectors enter the hobby. The internet and YouTube channels like Top Liberty have fueled interest in US coins. Rare pennies, especially transitional errors like the 1983 copper, are expected to climb in value over the next decade. So hold on to your finds. The future might surprise you. Final message: search your CHNG before you go. Grab your coin jars, your old piggy banks, and start searching. That one 1983 penny in your drawer might be your ticket to hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Top Liberty for more episodes uncovering rare coins, true stories, and real market values. Remember, every penny has a story, and your story could be worth more than you think. This is Top Liberty, where history meets hidden value. Today's video, we're uncovering the mystery, history, and huge market value of one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1982 D Lincoln penny, also known as the Top Liberty coin. Stay tuned till the very end because you might be holding a penny that could be worth up to $787.96 or even more today. The legend of the Lincoln PNNY. The story of the Lincoln penny begins in 1909, when it was first minted to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. It became an instant classic, the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, but among all the years it was made, 1982 stands out as one of the most mysterious, confusing, and valuable years in Lincoln penny history. Why 1982 was SPCAL? In 1982, something big happened. The United States Mint decided to change the composition of the penny due to the rising cost of copper. Before 1982, pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. After that year, they switched to a new cheaper metal, 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating. That means in 1982, both types of pennies were produced, copper and zinc, creating one of the most collectible and confusing coin years ever. The small D Mint mark under the year on the front side of the penny stands for Denver Mint. That means your penny was made in Denver, Colorado. The Denver Mint is known for producing billions of coins, but not all are the same, and that's what makes the 1982 D so interesting. Different varieties of 1982 penny shares. What makes the 1982 penny series so confusing and collectible? There are 7 different varieties of 1982 pennies: 1982 large date copper, 1982 small date copper, 1982 large date zinc, 1982 small date zinc, 1982 D large date copper, 1982 D large date zinc, 1982 D small date zinc. And collectors are still hunting for one that almost nobody has ever found, the 1982 D small date copper penny, a true Top Liberty legend. How to tell if your penny is copper or zincone? Simple trick: weigh your penny. If it weighs 3.11 grams, it's copper, the valuable one. If it weighs 2.5 grams, it's zinc, the common one. Sometimes that tiny difference means hundreds of dollars. The rare 1982 D small date copper PNNY. Now here's where it gets exciting. In 1982, the Denver Mint was not supposed to strike any copper pennies with the small date style, but somehow, a few copper small date pennies slipped through the minting process, making them extremely rare. Only a handful of these coins have ever been confirmed. If you find one, you could be sitting on a gold mine in penny form. How much is it worth? As of the current coin market, collectors have paid up to $787.96 or even more for verified 1982 D small date copper pennies in excellent condition. And that's not all. Higher grade versions graded by PCGS or NGC can go for thousands of dollars depending on condition, color, and strike quality. How to identify a small date penny? Here's a quick trick to tell if your penny is a small date. Look closely at the 2 in 1982. If the top of the 2 is sharp and level with the 8, that's a small date. If it drops lower, it's a large date. This tiny detail could be worth hundreds of dollars, so grab a magnifying glass. How to check value and SELL? You can check your coin's value on sites like PCGS.com, Namista, or eBay sold listings. If you think your coin is rare, don't clean it. Cleaning can destroy its collector value. Instead, get it graded by PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. Then list it on auction sites or sell to coin collectors or dealers. Other valuable 1982 PNNES. Even common 1982 pennies can have value if they are in mint state, MS, condition, have errors, or show strong details on liberty and the date. Double dies, off-center strikes, and plating errors can all raise value. Some 1982 Lincoln cents with strong, top liberty impressions are also prized by collectors. Error pennies to watch for. Here are some errors you should look out for: double die obverse, doubled letters in Liberty or In God We Trust. Die crack, raised lines running across Lincoln's portrait, center strike, part of the design missing, plating bubbles, small raised blisters on zinc coins. Each of these errors can make your penny worth $50 to $500 plus depending on rarity and condition. How to store and protect your coins. Use plastic coin flips or airtight holders to keep your pennies safe. Avoid humidity and fingerprints. Label your coins by type, year, and composition. It helps you track which ones might be valuable later. Every serious collector does this, and at Top Liberty, we always say, protect your cents to make dollars. The future value of the 1982 PNN experts believe that as copper prices rise and rare coins disappear into collections, the 1982 Lincoln penny will continue to increase in value. The rare copper versions will always attract attention. So, the penny in your change jar might be worth hundreds or even thousands in the next few years. That's why collectors at Top Liberty are always searching and sharing this knowledge with the world. If you found this video helpful and want to learn about old coins, rare finds, and valuable pennies, then make sure to subscribe to Top Liberty, like this video, and share it with your friends. Tell us in the comments what coin you want us to explore next. Remember, that small piece of metal in your pocket could be a treasure worth hundreds of dollars. Keep watching, keep collecting, and stay tuned with Top Liberty, where every coin has a story and every story is worth a fortune.